Once again, I welcome you all in the new session of this topic of the community work. So today we are going to discuss about the skills. So as the Welford who defined the skill as a combination of factors resulting in competent, spurt, rapid and accurate performance, regarded this as equally applicable to manual operation and mental activities. So he defined skill as a combination of factors such as resulting in competent experts, means what are the skills which you make the competent enough for the kind of the activities for which you are working with. Maybe if you are working in some management field, so you have to be competent enough into fulfilling your work as per the demands of that organization, maybe of that time of the or the requirement of that job. So same way in the community, so what are the competent you have, I mean the kind of the competencies in you, that is what the skills. So community practice involves a set of cognitive, analytical and sorting skills. You have to be very good in all such. You have your cognition, means you have to be very analytically good and sound. Your EQ and IQ should be in a very blended in a very nice manner. And sorting skills, you have a very skill that you can identify that you have to be not confused with the different problems, different issues with the different factors. You have to be very skillful enough to sorting the things. And plus the ability of the workers to secure commitments and then establish partnerships. So developing a good rapport is another very important skill. Think of priority setting, delegation and problem sharing, problem solving, assessment and contracting. These all are very, very important skills that is required in you as a good community worker and a social worker. So priority setting means from where to start, what to start, not to take everything all together. So that is what you have to prioritize the thing. Then delegation. So being a good worker, you also have to delegate the responsibility to others and to develop the teamwork. And problem sharing, that means you have to be good enough that but until you don't share with the others and understand the problem, whatever you feel kind of the challenges of the community, and you don't share with the others, so you're not going to resolve the things, because many a time the solution is in the hand of others. So while discussing with this, you can get the solution. So it's not like that, it's not about the ego thing that you have to keep the problem with you only. You can share it with others and with your agency member, with your co-workers. So this is again a kind of ethical responsibility towards your organization, that you have to give all the due respect to your colleagues, to your profession as well. So problem solving, assessment and contracting, these all are very, very important skills that has been required for a good community worker. Community work practice as macro practice, including skills associated with community organization and development, social planning, and social action, and as well as social administration. So all these primary or secondary methods of the social work, you need to be very clear into that, because community work is a macro practice, where macro practice means you have to be aware of the welfare programs and policies. You have to be good enough in community organizing, larger perspective. You also have to be good in understanding the individual fields, seeing individual capacity and capabilities, because they are this important unit of the community. And then you have to be good enough into planning and social planning of the community. You have to even good enough in the research work. You have to be a good researcher as well, and good analytical skill you must go with. So these are the some skills that you require. Community practice calls for interactive, responsive and socially oriented skills of public information, collaboration and inter-organization tech tasks such as the networking, social marketing, public information is so important. Maybe you are working in a community, you need some kind of the assistance from some other agencies, some other organization, governmental, be it governmental or non-governmental, or any CBOs, community-based organization, or any religious-based organization. So depending upon your requirement, you have to develop that kind of the networking with others. So it is easy for you to actually attain the goal. Then community practice requires social action, evaluation, advocacy and a lobbying skill. Definitely without evaluation and advocacy and lobbying skills, it is very difficult to work in a community, because in a community there are power structure. So you have certain kinds of the lobbying very tactfully, right? Then you also have to do the advocacy on behalf of those who are not being heard. Community practice demands a strong commitment to social justice and client community empowerment. Community practice requires the ability to learn new theories and skills are needed. because every day the community is changing. We all have discussed since like many sessions that how the community has been changing its nature from from community feeling to the more individualistic community lacking social action, social capital, and virtual communities have been emerging, and then there are a lot new different sets of the community has been emerging. So depending upon the new sets of the community, you have to change into understanding those changes, and accordingly you have to develop the skills. Community practice requires the ability of looking, listening, finding, and theory building. So you have to be very and keen to understand the different aspect of the community. You have to keen listener, you have to keen finder, and so then you will develop the theory of the community. You have can come up with the new realities of the communities that might going to change the lot of the bring a lot of the development for the community while understanding the new kind of the realities of the community. So community practice entails persuasion, representation, reframing to allow social workers to deal with different agendas when working with individuals and groups and communities. So again, as a new set of the communities has been emerged, new set of the agendas has been also coming, a new kind of the issues has been coming. So you know that same-sex marriages demands and all. So you could be working with any new kind of the challenges, new kind of the dilemmas, or new kind of the demands of the community. So you have to be capable enough, be very non-judgmental. You should not go judgmental on any aspect that this is bad, this is correct, or this is not correct, because this is what the social worker not ask you to be judgmental. Okay, until if you are judgmental, definitely if you are stereotyping something or something like that, so you are definitely going to judge something. So being a social worker or being a good community worker, you have to be non-judgmental. So community practice necessitates organizational management and group skills. So the necessary aspect of the community practice that you have to good in management, group skill, or sorry, organizational management and group skill. So from micro to level to macro level, you have to be skillful enough to manage everything, because you have to deal with the different aspects of the community. So you have to also go according to the needs and demands of your agency. You have to be adjusted according to the needs and demands and cultural context of the community, and definitely you are going with your own self. So the description by community workers are analyzed under the three main headings. That is the qualities needed by the worker, that right now I just discussed about this only. The qualities needed by the worker depending upon the situation and then projects and the community context. The knowledge on which he draws, from where he actually and she actually and we actually has drawn the information with the primary or secondary. So one thing is my own qualities as a good learner maybe, or as a bad learner, or as having some kind of the preconceived notion. So this is what my qualities, and then my qualities is going to interact with the getting the knowledge and collected the knowledge of the community. So if the knowledge is saying something and your preconceived notion saying something, there's a problem arises. So it's again the calculation should be correct enough. So that's why the qualities needed by the worker is very important. This is non-judgmental, right? Be very objective, being very non-judgmental, you have to be there, and the knowledge on which that he draws, and then different roles he undertakes in the course of the work. What actually the roles has been assigned to you, what level you are being assigned over there, right? So at the very initial, maybe as a trainer, you're not giving a very big kind of the opportunities. You may be assisting someone else. So at what level you are working with, this is again very important. And then accordingly you have to perform the things, whether you are allowed to how much you're allowed to participate in the policy making or not. So this is what the three aspects that analyze under the these aspects, right? Qualities required by a community worker: ability to establish relationship. You have to be good personality, a cheerful personality. That's what very important for a social worker, right? What I always ask to my students, your personality should be like that. In presence of you, no one can feel bored, no one feel insecure, or means your personality should be very pleasant enough as a personal thing as well as a social worker. It's very, very important, because you're working with the humans, right? And until you don't show your you don't be good enough in developing good communication within a community, you cannot think about the rest of the aspects. So this is what to communicate, but in a very professional manner with all the human feelings with you, to create confidence, definitely with a controlled emotional involvement, to create confidence among the community, and you also go with a lot of the confidence that okay, this problem is not a big problem, it's going to be handled. You just see that how the doctors have said. If this doctor say, oh, you are going to die, this is a big problem, that the patient is, if it is has to live for 5 or 10 years, he is going to die within 1 or 2 I mean within a month or something like that. So if the doctor says no, this is not a big problem, I will deal this. So if the problem is big, the patient feel comfortable, and actually his and her emotion and cognition and then hormones works like that, and it's actually it's a kind of very supportive for the patient. Same way for the community workers, you also show the lot of the confidence with the kind of the problem they have, but don't give any kind of the false statements or false promises as well. So we have to make a balance between these two, right? Accessibility to all members of the community and to representative of organization across age, social and political barriers, flexibility in adapting to many situations, the ability to wear many hats, means you have many responsibility at the same time, sensitivity and patience, you have to be very sensitive, and to be at the same time you have to be very patient enough. You must not be in a very hush situation, that if someone is saying something, okay, just keep down, okay, but first do this, don't do that. You just give some time, okay, and with very politely said, okay, Bhaiya, now you have said all your things, now this is what the important is. Can you say this later on, because the most important thing here, if you don't have the time. So you have to be tackle, and this is what you all are I hope and I know that you all are capable of doing all such things, and I wish to all of you that you will become a good community worker and social worker in coming future. So sensitivity and patience, and ability to work at the pace of the group. See, you have all the information, but the committee wants to say something which is something new for them, and of course you have to show a lot of the patience, and you have to go the pace with the group. You cannot do like, okay, I'll do on behalf of you. You take a lot of the time. Maybe he's writing something, he's take a lot of the time. So just give some time to the community members to learn and go according to the pace of the community. Capacity to work towards long-term objective. You also have that capacity, because it is the drawback of the many program and present day agencies, that the majority of the agencies, even the programs, even the one drawback of the community development programs and many programs, that it is mainly concerned about the some type of the short term of the things, and that is why it is not goes in the hand of the actually the underprivileged community, just showing off that okay, within 1 year and 2 years we are going to do this, and the target for the next year this, and the target of that year this. So everyone is running behind the targets, right, of the 1 year 6 months. So what happened then, long term intervention and long term approach is somewhere missing, and this is what one has not to do that. So you have to be good enough to keep your pace with the long term objectives. Okay. So now, as per the McMahon has talked about some of the skills. That is one thing is about the relationship skills. You have to good enough, that we have already discussed about. The good rapport is the fundamental and prime important skill that you have to inculcate into you, so that once you have a good relationship skill with the community is relying on you, and then you can be able to actually do any kind of the activities within a community. So how we can do that? So by listening to them very carefully, paying attention to them is actually paying attention and listening carefully to others is actually a very important ethical responsibility and ethical kind of thing and value system. It's actually giving respect to others. So listening is actually respecting to others. This is very important. And then feeling and sensing. You also have to feel. Sometimes they say something, sometimes they don't say something. So maybe the tears rolling down. So you have to understand the feeling and sensing. Sometimes someone says something, but their intention and the official expression says something else. So you have to be senseful enough to sense that thing. Then clarifying, whatever you listen, you act to clarify, and whatever you want to say, use simple words to make it understandable by the community members. And then referring, you can sometimes also refer something to others, as well as if they need something else beyond that project, if that is under control, you could also refer those. Means knowing when and how to refer community members to appropriate resources or professional is a key in addressing issues that exceed the workers capacity. If someone in that in while project in any kind of the project needs something else, so you can refer that to some other agency where those agency is capable enough to dealing with that. If you do that, that's the additional part of the work, so the community will develop more better relationship with you. This is what an extra little burden, but if you have the capacity, you can do that. This is what the all relationship actually build. Responding, you have to respond at the time of sometime the emergency, and your active and constructive responses ensures that community members are feel heard and supported, right? So responding towards them is so important. Then information giving, whatever the information they ask for, they are in need of, you have to give those information. Then problem solving skills, so communication skill, sorry, that is about the relationship skill, and then about the problem solving skills. So you have, this is what the recognizing the underlying problems within the community, including both overt and then covert issues, is a key step in intervention. So if you have that capable enough, or you develop a good relationship, you will be easily develop this kind of the problem solving skills. So problem solving skill needs problem identification as how you can develop this skill. I mean, everyone cannot have all kind of the skills. So this is what the professional teaching and professional thing that you make you understand that how you can do that. So problem solving skills, so how you just go with a stepwise, that is what problem identification we have discussed so much length and breadth, how the different ways of problem identification, and there much more is also been there that I am not actually discussing, because there's a lot thing. You can consult many books and many literature where you can get more and more ways and of handling this problem and all. So this is what, and then assessing, goal setting, selecting and implementing interventions, terminating, data collection, planning, task defining, evaluation. So these all are the actually important problem solving skill. By moving to these steps, you can easily develop this skill, or you can be easily do this, right? Next is the political skill on advocating skill. Many times community members need some kind of the advocacy from you, because they are maybe not being heard by the maybe by the any superiors, or by some governmental agencies, or by some authorities. So you could actually do the advocacy on behalf of the community. So this is again very important. Then providing evidences, supplying data and concrete evidences strengthen the community's case in negotiating with the external stakeholders on during advocacy. So advocacy along with the evidences is actually very strengthful, became so strengthful. Then organizing, bargaining, so negotiating, publicizing, so anything, anytime which has been required, you can go with that. Okay, that is what the political skills. So again, this is more related to the social action aspect. Next is about the professional skills. So professional skills is, every skill is about professional skills. It's more about that you have to be blend your IQ with EQ in a very very important, very intellectual, very intelligently, right? So it's about that professionalism guarantees that community workers conduct themselves in a way that is efficient, moral and well organized. These abilities cover the hands-on components of community work that facilitate accountability and efficient operations. So like you have to be professionally good in recording, time management, research and teamwork. This is with you. This is not with the community, right? These professional skills is with you, that you have to good in writing your records, keeping your records correct, readable, correct, timely, time management, at what time you have to go, at what time you have to come, at what time, weekly. You should not be, things to be it is going to be done tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It should not be doing like that. You have to, everything should according to the time management. So day you have done for some activities, you have to complete it that time, that thing within the limit, within the given time, right? So time management is so important. Then research, research is also a kind of very professional skills. You have all those kind of research knowledge and research skills in you, that you could be easily to understand the community's problems in issue, and you will be easily resolving those issue by applying those research. So researching is another very important skills for a community worker and for a social worker in large. Teamwork, you have to be good enough, a good leader. You have to develop the leadership skills in you. Then you can, being a good leader, you can manage a good team. So leadership skill here, it's one another very important professional skills, right? Some other skills, like some other, like apart from what the McMahon has said. So now is about another skill. Some very important skill is about the communication skill. This also is resulted into the relationship skills. So communication skills is not only about the interpersonal communication. It could be mass media communication, through some informal kind of the communication, that you have to be good enough. Like in IPC, that is the IEC, information, education and communication, means you have to communicate with some nukkad natak. You would be good enough through some kind of the different informal activities like puppet shows and all. If you're skillful enough, it's actually going to help you out. It is actually very impactful if you go with the IEC. I stand for information, E stands for education, and C stands for communication. And see, blending all these three, education, information and communication together, can actually give some certain kinds of the tools, like wall painting, nukkad natak, puppet shows. There's a lot tools has been there under IEC. So this is what you have to be good enough in marketing, in social marketing, in SBCC, that is a social behavior change, SBCC, social behavioral change communication. You have to good enough in the social marketing. Social marketing means marketing. Social marketing is totally a very big idea. So this today I cannot discuss so much, but it's just about that. As someone can sell sell the product in the market, so same way the selling the new kind of the behavior which is considered to be required for particular community or for particular aspects. Maybe the mainly social marketing in India has been so much successful in the promoting contraceptives. So promoting the market of the contraceptives. So contraceptive is just not it's not just a product. It's about the behavior. So social marketing is for that. So anyway, so communication skill, then interpersonal skill. That is what IPC could say. Interpersonal skill. Leadership skill, I've already told. For the teamwork, you have to be good in leadership skill. Then leadership, we have already discussed so much in length and breadth. Project management skills, that's again if the how to develop that whole team, and then negotiation, and then project formulation, and then reporting, writing, and evaluation and monitoring, time management. This all come under the management skills. Then resource mobilization, fundraising. In particular, if you're working with any organization, this is very important, that resource mobilization. One thing is the resource mobilization of the community and the resources available at your agency, how you have to mobilize that. And then again, any kind of the resources which is been by any welfare policies and programs, you can also tap those resources for the community. It's about the resource mobilization, right? So resources are there, it's only that how to move that mobile resources to the problems, to the needs, to the requirements, right? Because there are many, it's always go with the assumption that resources are there, right? So you never see that there are this there are no resources there. Resources may be lesser or larger, but resources are always there. It's just the professional skill that you have to identify that resources or tap that resources and mobilize that resources towards the requirement or the needs. Okay, so resource mobilization and fundraising. Then technical skills, for whatever you are there, you have to good. If you are working with some livelihood, like in agriculture and all, you have to be little aware about and you can also facilitate, you can also hire some professional into that field. You have to be good enough in computer skills in present day world, definitely. You have to technically you have to be sound in, if you are like working for example in education area, you have to be good enough in developing the syllabus and then time things, time management, whatever the requirement for that. So you have to be if you are working with a microfinancing, you have to be good enough in understanding all the banking thing and microfinancing and everything. So you skillful, you have to be skillful. Definitely one cannot be skillful in every aspect and every requirement, so but you have to be skillful in which area you are working with. Okay, so the most you develop the skills, the most you will be you develop the professionalism, you develop the more, you will be more demanded by the market. Okay. And then cultural competence, that one thing has been left. Cultural competence, that you have to be very good, and this is again very important ethical responsibility, that you have to be very culturally competent, that you going in a community, you have to be aware about that community, you have to be according to the community. It's not like that you are going in a community all kind of attitude, putting sunglasses and you have to be like community. You are not there as in to doing some kind of the modeling, some kind of thing. Sorry, you should not show any kind of the eliteness that you are from under outside. You are elite. How you can speak in English and all. So you are there. You have to communicate in their own languages. So this is what is very important. Cultural competencies, that you understand the culture thing and work according to their cultural demands. So with this, I just conclude my lecture. With the statement that the client is not clearly defined in macro and community practice by traditional notion of a client relationship. Community practice shares with much of social work practice a third-party employment relationship, unwilling targets of change, and people not seeking the practitioner services. The social work generally is employed by and accountable to an agency rather than to the service recipients. This clouds had often preempts any social worker's accountability to a client, target, or beneficiaries of professional action. In community practice, the goal often is system change and social justice aims not selected by the any action system. So now I conclude with this, that the success of any community work depends on the incorporation of various approaches and fundamental abilities to enable community members and promote constructive transformation by using lot of the tactics, and then going with the correct steps, going with the correct strategies into the community. If you are skillful enough, you will be able to actually manage all the kinds of the needs and requirements of the community. So these are some references of today's session as well as the earlier two sessions regarding the community, the steps, the strategies, and then about the skills that we have discussed today. Thank you so much.